right, listen up, because I'm only going to tell the story once. And when I'm done, you'll understand why I had to come back here, to this godforsaken place, to face the demons of my past. You see, I was that kid, the one with the crazy dreams, the one who dared to think outside the box. I was the botanist, the urban farmer, the idiot who thought he could change the world with a shovel and some seeds. It all started when I got canned from that fancy research lab. They said I was too idealistic, too much of a pain in the ass. They wanted profits. I wanted progress. So I walked out and I never looked back. But before I could make my mark on the world, I had to face the firing squad at home. "You're throwing your life away," my old man said, his voice as cold as the winter wind. "You'll never amount to anything with this foolishness." My mom, well, she just shook her head, her eyes filled with a sadness that cut deeper than any knife. "You're an embarrassment, son. A disgrace to this family." And my siblings? They were the worst. Laughing, jeering, telling me I was a joke, a pathetic, delusional joke. But I didn't let it break me. No, I took that pain, that ridicule, and I used it as fuel. I moved to the city, to a place where the concrete jungle was all there was, and I started to dream. I dreamed of green spaces, of rooftops covered in lush foliage, of ancient plants forgotten by time. I dreamed of a city that could feed itself, sustain itself, thrive. And so I began. I started small with a few pots on a fire escape. But I didn't stop there. No, I scaled up. I took risks. I defied the naysayers. I turned barren rooftops into thriving ecosystems, into urban farms that produced more food than some of the surrounding neighborhoods. I used ancient forgotten plant species, ones that were hardy, resilient, perfect for the urban environment. I showed the world that sustainability wasn't just a buzzword, it was a reality. But it wasn't easy. Oh no, it was a struggle, a relentless, unyielding struggle. There were days when I wanted to give up, when the weight of the world seemed too heavy to bear. But I didn't. I pushed on, I fought back, I refused to let the doubters win. And then, one day, it all paid off. I was featured in every major publication, from National Geographic to the New York Times. I was invited to speak at conferences, to consult with governments, to share my vision with the world. I was a success, a goddamn triumph. And that's when I knew I had to come back here. I had to face them, to show them what I had become, to make them see that their ridicule, their disbelief, their outright mockery had only made me stronger. So I walked into that house, the house I grew up in, the house that had once been a prison of expectations. And there they were, my family, sitting around the dinner table, their faces a mix of surprise and fear. "Hello, family," I said, my voice steady, my eyes unblinking. "I'm home." My old man, he stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. "What are you doing here, boy?" he growled. I smiled, a slow, satisfied smile. "I'm here to show you something, Dad. Something I want you to see with your own eyes." And with that, I pulled out my laptop, opened it up, and played them a video of the rooftops I had transformed, of the communities I had fed, of the lives I had changed. I showed them the articles, the interviews, the accolades. I showed them the proof of my success. And as they watched, their faces changed. The disbelief turned to shock, the shock to awe, the awe to something else, something like regret. When the video ended, the room was silent, so silent you could hear a pin drop. And then my mom, she spoke. Her voice was soft, barely a whisper. "Is this all you're doing, son?" I nodded, my eyes never leaving hers. "Every bit of it, Mom, every single bit." My old man, he looked at me, his eyes filled with emotion I had never seen before. Respect, "You did it, son," he said, his voice gruff with unshed tears. "You actually did it." And then, one by one, they all stood up. They came to me. They hugged me. They apologized. They told me they were wrong, that they were sorry, that they were proud. And as I stood there, surrounded by my family, I felt a sense of peace, a sense of closure. I had come full circle, from the ridiculed dreamer to the triumphant innovator. I had faced my demons and I had won. But more than that, I had shown them that dreams weren't just foolish fantasies, that they were worth fighting for, worth struggling for, worth believing in. I had shown them that even in the face of ridicule, of disbelief, of outright mockery, you could still rise, you could still triumph. And as I left that house, as I walked away from my past, I knew one thing for certain. I knew that I had made a difference, not just in the world, but in the hearts and minds of the people who had once doubted me. I had shown them the power of belief, the strength of conviction, the beauty of perseverance. And in the end, isn't that what we all want? To make a difference, to leave a mark, to show the world that we were here, that we mattered, that we were more than just the sum of our parts, more than just the dreams we dared to dream. So if you're out there, if you're listening to this, and you're feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, if you're feeling the sting of ridicule, the burn of disbelief, the ache of mockery, let me tell you something. Let me tell you that it's worth it. That every struggle, every setback, every challenge is worth it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the fight, the struggle, the relentless pursuit of your dreams. And if you fight hard enough, if you believe strong enough, if you persevere long enough, you will triumph. You will rise, and you will show the world that you were never just a dreamer. You were a doer, a fighter, a triumphant, unyielding, unstoppable force of nature. And that, my friends, is the power of belief, the strength of conviction, the beauty of perseverance. And it's a story worth telling, worth sharing, worth living. So go on, dream big, fight hard, and never ever give up. Because the world is waiting and it's ready for you to shine.